Welcome back, guys, to the Check-In, the Cashout Cavaliers official podcast. I'm here as usual with my co-host and co-founder Anton.
Hi guys, how you doing? You see, I actually responded this time.
Yeah, we learn as we go, and we're getting better every week. And we got a lot of appreciation for last week's episode, although the views were a bit down. But hey, at least we got it published that time as well. We're on an absolute roll now, so let's hope this one also doesn't get not approved and demonetized. That would be amazing.
Uh, s-
Today,
yeah.
yeah,
So I really like countries with democratic in their name.
yes,
I think we
yes.
should talk about that.
I also think
Oh,
the more democracy, the better the country. Is also is what my
yeah.
history teacher used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, how you been doing, Alex, this past week?
I've been good. Busy with lots of work, but had a relaxing weekend. So back now on Monday, and I'm ready to get back to work. Almost getting into spring break now in a few weeks, so looking forward to that. What about yourself?
I've been doing good. Been doing some work with the org. We have an exciting project that we just started, and I can't speak anything more about it now. But I can't wait to announce it. It's gonna be fun. But also, I played a lot of League.
Cringe.
I My Fiora is like 73% now, I think. So I've been like really tearing it up. It's been great. I also played a little bit of chess, but I was it's so funny because like chess when you're not drunk at 5 a.m. just doesn't hit the
It
same.
doesn't hit
It's
the
just
same, does it? No,
yeah, no.
no.
It just feels like work, man. It's
Very true, actually. Very true. I'm also a 5 a.m. drunk chess connoisseur myself.
yeah.
We do have fun. But what hasn't been fun this week has been watching the Cashout Cavaliers, as we have hit 3 straight losses last week. Of course, on Tuesday, continuing your loss streak in the Good Game League, losing 2-0 to Sami Gamers in an incredible overpass game, and then falling a bit short on the second map. What do you want to say about our performance on Tuesday?
uh, yeah. No. So on Tuesday, we played the Slaughter Gang, right? And
Yes, Slaughter Gang is what I meant to say, not
yeah,
Sami. We
yeah,
played
yeah. I
Sami
was
the week
like,
before. No, I mixed them up. Yeah, no, I was looking at the wrong week there. Yeah, no, Slaughter
yeah,
Gang,
no.
which is the team we also played against that Sunday, which like 2 days before.
I mean, we're starting to see a very worrying pattern. But Cashout Cavaliers is that they have a tendency. We're very eco-friendly as an org, so we have decided to not turn our monitors on until like the second half of
Exactly,
every
exactly.
overpass game. Uh, it's uh, it's absolutely crazy because we see this pattern all the time, where we are down like 8-9 2, and it also happens against 7-7 esports, where we almost come back afterwards, but the problem is we are not supposed to be so far down, and especially it's for one of our maps that we like practice a lot, and it's in like our core rotation. It's really not a good sign that we are letting the game go out of our control. And even if like we can be saying that, oh yeah, we're so good at coming back, oh yeah, the roster has so much potential, but at the end of the day, it's uh like esports and sports in general aren't run on potential, it's run on wins.
Yeah,
And honestly, like it's been, as a cash out fan, it's been a torture.
yeah,
It's been,
absolutely.
to
No,
watch
but
us.
you are
It's been rough.
you're completely right. I think the games we played have been super entertaining. We bring the entertainment to every game. Every match is has a tendency to be super close, and we've really we've been doing a good job that way. That's reflected in our, I think, our streams, our viewership, and our engagement and stuff. People really enjoy watching us play. But at the end of the day, we need to win games.
Mm.
It's as simple as that. The more games we win, the more recognition we get, and of course, the happier we are, the happier our fans are, and we're actually already seeing that we're starting to build somewhat of a fan base. There's a few people that tune in to every video, every stream. That's super active, and that's always really fun to see. And we of course want the results to reflect that. And especially against Slaughter Gang, I think that's a super rough loss for us because we played them on their map pick on Sunday and we blew them out of the water completely. They were never in that game. That was Anubis, I believe, or was that the Ancient game?
No, it was Ancient.
It was Ancient game as well, yeah. So that was a 13-7 win for us. And
Yeah.
we had the match before, which we briefly talked about last week. Another Ancient game, also 13-7. However, that was super close. At one point, it was 7-7, and it was only towards the end, towards our T side, that we remember the team was able to just outcall and outclutch some rounds. However, this Slaughter gang game, was never close. Not really. They were just trying to fumbling to pick out rounds. They weren't able to string anything together. So for us to go on a 2-0 loss on Tuesday is I think was tough for us.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just and the worst part is we were 17 HP away
Yeah.
from actually getting from actually tying overpass. But it's like with that sports, like the margins are so small, and it's just we need to shore up our early game. We need to turn on the monitors, and it's honestly like I think honestly like I think one cure for it is just to like have like one like 2 games of face it before the first game. You intentionally run it down. You run like 5 SSGs. You go like 3 for 13 or something, and then the second game you're like, okay, we're gonna try hard, and then you're like in the perfect mindset to play the game, because it feels like in the first half of the first game like we are not warmed up.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, it's like different players perform differently, but like if we can turn our 1-11 first halves into maybe like a 4-8, then yeah, I can see us doing a lot better. But
Absolutely.
I mean, I want to say it as like, oh, this comes with the season. It's just start, but like the season's almost halfway over. And so we need to really shore up our gameplay to do this.
Yeah. No, I definitely think you can. Have you been a bit unlucky with as I say, the Burning game matches, some of the matches, because we tend to be the A team, which actually in esports isn't good in the best of 3, best of 5, because that means the B team decides both the second map and the last map. Which also forces you to start off on a T side on the first map. And if you then don't get instant momentum and instantly start rolling, the whole series can be really, really tough. Which is what we saw on that overpass, where we were down 12-1 at one point, and then suddenly string together 11 rounds in a row, or 10 rounds in a row, I should say, to almost make it overtime, where one of the opponents suddenly pulls off an insane 1v4 and then closes out the map. And from that point, it was kind of hard for us to start off with the second map. But I think we should talk a bit about the main event, Balgan Games. As we've said earlier, we're a big game team. Watching us is kind of like watching FaZe Clan. They lose to some dog shit as team online that nobody's ever heard of. But then when they show up on LAN, they don't lose ever. And I think we started to show that in qualifiers with 2 good qualifiers day. Well, 1 good day and 1 fantastic day in the qualifiers. But then we get to the main event. I think it's safe to say we have the hardest of the 2 groups. I think Group B is way more stacked than Group A. Group A has 2 first div teams, a second div team, and a 5-stack of just a variety of players. While Group B has the best team in the country currently, 77 Esports, the hosts of the tournament from Bergen. They have Static, who has shown the best form recently. They're the only ones to actually win a map against 7-7 in the recent Good Game League. We have Infurity, which is a team that has shown. I mean, they've been a bit questionable during the season, I think. I don't think they're where they want to be either when it comes to Good Game League. But they've absolutely stepped up now, showing fantastic shape. I don't think there's any argument against that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it sucks that we have a bad draw. But it also shows it lets our players get the taste of what first division Counter-Strike is like. Because you see, like in second division, like like in a qualifier run on Sunday, on the qualifying run where we did qualify, we saw like a lot of people having weird comps, like not understanding the maps. For example, the way we just manhandled Better Frost on Anubis was crazy. But and you see like also people missing lineups or not having effective lineups. But you see like in the first division Counter Strike, it's like everything is kind of like you're expected to know everything, and you're also expected to like almost invent stuff and like try to innovate and like build plays upon plays, and like, okay, um if I, for example, we rush A site one round. Okay, so now or we rush B side on Ancient, like first round as T. Then like, okay, so now they're gonna like over index into defending B. We're
Yeah,
gonna fake B side and then rotate to Red Door or Donut and go for A. And it's just like it's the game feels a lot more constructed when you see like first division teams, and
absolutely.
um it's something where you see that like raw talent and mindless hard work will not beat raw talent that is that has structure
Yeah,
and has been there for
absolutely.
longer. But it's really good for our team to be able to experience this, because I think like in the long term the players will become much better from it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And as you said, I think we have shown a lot of promise, more than a lot of the second of teams. A lot of teams like more promise than a lot of teams will have to. When you have Loaf calling, if anyone did catch both the Saturday and the Sunday game where we played, Mr. Loaf, who's our great IGL, he was out calling pretty much every team we played, and not just every team, like every round. He was stacking the right sides, getting the right rotates, reading the game completely, which is super impressive to see. But and I think he did a quite good job generally in the series we played now in Burning Games as well. But you can see, as Anton says there, that structure. These first div teams, they do this full time, right? They practice differently, but they also have IGLs that are more experienced, players that are more experienced, that have played at the higher level for longer, and it's super hard for one player, one individual with insane amounts of talent, individual skill, can just bounce from like a face level 10 grinding level to the pro level, like some people do, like Donk, Monacy, etc. But for a whole team to be able to do that, it's almost impossible, because as a player you're just put into a system, and in the team you say this is your job and you just practice your job. But a team needs to be able to see the whole perspective, the whole thing, and they don't only need to win the entries, they also win the open game, the utility. They need to win every single part of the game to be able to break down this bigger or better made structure, which is super difficult, especially on those T sides, as most top teams have solid CT side setups. In this current meta of Counter Strike, a lot of people have been complaining about it being almost too CT sided, which a lot of people are happy now that we have maps such as Anubis that are leaning the other way naturally. But you need to lock down those CT sides, and you can see how good all of these first div teams are on creating setups and getting creative and switching up the stacks and who plays where, even switching the op around and rifling rolls around. And I think that's very, very hard to play against, even when you have been watching demos, especially for IGLs and leaders, coaches, whatever, that aren't as experienced at the top level.
Yeah, 100%. And it's yeah, the issue when CT is too strong is that it makes it so that you have to whip out a lot of your like cheesy like secret strats. And the problem with those strats is that a lot of those strats are like one timers, right? Or like once the opponent knows the trick, they won't fall for it again. And the problem is, if you don't have a really solid T side, or like you're not good at playing T, then you kind of relied on the bag of tricks to get as many rounds as possible.
100%.
And like it's really scary as a team to like just see, okay, I wasted this angle. Okay, I spent this angle. I have like three more plays. and then I know I'm just gonna get like face stomped by the enemy team for the next 7 rounds, and it's really it's yeah, it's really important so that the T side is good because it's so much T side is so much about momentum and
100%.
being able to translate your plays into round wins and advantages. Um, so yeah, like I think our our T side needs to get better
Yeah.
on a lot of our maps.
I agree. And I think what you can see, we are there are basically two ways to play a T side as a pro team. There are default heavy teams, and then there are set play heavy teams. All the top teams, all the most consistent teams are default heavy, which means like their default positionings when you have like your one guy lurking outside of A, two guys outside of B, two guys taking mid, standard setups you'll see on all maps. They are so solid, and each player knows all their angles so well, and they play off each other really well, and they calm really well. They're able to just get one entry on A side, right, and then they just sit back, do nothing. Then some CT will push somewhere, we'll get one entry, and then some player will call, fuck it, we're going B, and they all run B. Like, having those solid defaults and just waiting them out. Astralis had 2 or 3 T-side defaults on every single map during their prime period. Navi, all iterations of Navi since CSGO, first became competitive game 12 years ago, or 11, yeah, almost 12 years ago. I've been famous for this for the whole time, as they would literally just sit still on the T side until there were 20 seconds left in the round. Then they would run into a site and take it. But it would work every time because they'd always be in some kind of advantage. And we are also a very default heavy team, and it makes sense because it's the easiest way to set up play. Because then you don't need like a set of smokes or a set of any type of utility. You can just play off the kind of kills you get, and you can punish the CTs for small mistakes and small aggressions, and it's really hard to get punished, right? But when the CTs don't react to this, when they don't push, when they also have like counter defaults, which is like a CT setup where you specifically have a play to stop the terrorists from getting some information, some map space. On maps like Inferno, that would be, say, 2 CTs or even 3 CTs suddenly running in and taking apps control on A site. And you're like, why the fuck are 3 apps? You can just walk up short and long site free, but the voice terrorists don't know this. And they'd also get frags. And I see this is something we see a lot from the top teams, because their defaults on the CT side are just better than our defaults on the T side, and they can also very easily just sit back, and if we don't go anywhere, we don't go anywhere, and then when we go in, we're going into a standardized setup, which is a lot harder to take down. The other way to play the T side is by set plays. Some teams have done this, famously ENCE, EC for ENCE in the 2019 major run. We're 100% reliant on set plays. They barely ever play default. That means every round you have a specifically constructed plan of what utilities to be thrown, when, what players needs to be where, what. And you're only going for a site take, mid take, site take. Like, there is no waiting for aggression. There's nothing like that. Which means every single round of your 12T rounds, or, well, 15 back then, have already been pre-constructed of what you're going to do. And there's like, well, if we lose, then they've already pre-calculated how much money are we going to have, what buy do we go for, and exactly what util they have. And if they win, they've already calculated for that. And if they suddenly hear, say, like a pistol, or where there's supposed to be a rifle, then they have a plan for that, which is super hard to set up, because then you need to overanalyze every single opponent on every single map and how they play every single round. But ENCE got to the major finals until they were obviously beaten by the most dominant team maybe in esports history, in the grand finals. But still, they made it to grand finals playing that way. And a lot of Carrigan's teams have a nice combination of this. They have a very solid default setup, but then suddenly he goes into like 4 straight rounds of just set plays, and then they completely fuck up the CT's mentality, and they don't know where to go, and they lose the game. And I think a lot of teams we've seen really abuse these like standard default setups on the T side and CD side. So I think what could help us is maybe get more of those set plays, having more distinctive plans for certain rounds, because we do have some sometimes, and I think our mid-round calling is really good to change stuff up. But I would really love to see more direct, aggressive Counter-Strike, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Because like the wins we've had are like when the opponent team just doesn't know what hit them. Like the wins they had were really, really dominant. Where we just read them and we executed the plays correctly, and they didn't know that the play was going to be executed on that side. and it's just the problem with playing defaults when you're a worse team is just that if you default and the other side counter default and the other team is just better, then you kind of
Yeah,
just
you lose.
yeah, you
Unless
just run headfirst
somebody
into the wall.
pops the fuck off, of course. There's always that. Somebody can just
Mm.
go and get donked, right? But that will very, very rarely happen to an extent where it changes the map.
Yeah, and I think like especially like when you're such an underdog that like I don't think a lot of our opponents were watching our demos. Because I mean we're a 0-3 second division team. On paper we look really ass. Not gonna lie,
True,
and
true.
it's having set plays that can just win the map. Will greatly increase our chance of winning. But yeah, I mean that takes time, and it's also a calculated investment, right? So uh, like for example, you have like, let's say we have like 15 hours of organized practice per week.
Give or take, yeah.
Um, like you can either try to use those 15 hours to be like the greatest at default setups, or you can like invest like 5 to 7 or even 15 hours if you really want to go that route, to go to set plays. But the issue is that if you if you spend 7 hours a week for like this for like 5 weeks on set play training and you don't manage to actually start winning games with them, then you're like really far behind on the season compared to the other teams.
Absolutely.
And
Then you're fucked.
hmm, so it's always really risky to take that approach. And I think like if you're a better team, then you should be careful about over investing in this. But if you
Yeah.
are a worse team, if you like acknowledge that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be in the third division. I should maybe be a fourth. We should maybe be a fourth division team. Then I think like we should really index into that, so that you can steal games. And stealing games is yeah, what keeps people from getting relegated, or what promotes people.
100%.
So yeah, but I'm excited to see what Cashout will cook up.
Yeah. I know for a fact they have been they're working on some really really cool stuff now to ensure that we can get more consistent, because I think our peak is really really high, but there's no consistency. Absolutely, like there's no consistent midline. We're either up here or I feel like we're down there, which just sucks to see. No, but I just it was just a thought, because I think the best teams in the world will have again the best default in the world, but I think just implementing some certain type of set plays where you can be able to take your opponent by surprise, fuck with their head, something that can't be watched in a demo or reviewed. It's just the thing you go for. I think it really switch up the game.
Mm.
But we could talk a bit specifically about our results here. Our first match last Wednesday was versus Static, which is a first division team who have been doing pretty well recently. I think they had a bit of a weak start to the season, but they're doing better now. Again, really, really solid team, obviously. They took us down 2-0 with a fantastic performance from Thomasy. Not sure how you would like his name pronounced, but not really relevant. We had honestly a poor performance across the board here. I would argue from us on Vertigo on their map, got completely swept. Was actually our map pick. This was a little pick play from Mr. Loaf, or the team, I should say, because if we picked Ancient, which would have that's both our favorite pick and the opponent's favorite pick. The difference is if we pick Ancient, they would have picked into Nuke, which is a map we don't practice. However, they also play Vertigo, which was a map we also practice, right? So by picking Vertigo, we force them. Well, you don't force them. They're most likely going to pick Ancient, because as Anton said earlier, they don't watch our demos. They don't care. They probably know they're the better team, and therefore they don't play on our weaknesses. They play on their own strengths. And then final map is Anubis. So overall, doesn't look terrible for us. We have 3 maps that we practice, but this is also the 3 best maps of the opponent. Ancient being both of our best maps. And although Vertigo was complete sweep, we got wrecked. Lost 13-4. Ancient showed a lot more promise, was a lot closer, 13-8 there. And there are just some minor mistakes that we are making here and there that end up costing us so much more. And I think that's probably one of our main issues in these like closer matches.
Yeah, I think like one of our weaknesses has been I think it's like we have had two really big weaknesses. The first one is to actually commit onto sites or like executing correctly. I feel like a lot of time a lot of times we waste too much time on the setup, and I remember the one time where it was yeah, we were playing against yeah, it was Static, I think, where
Yeah.
we had where we had where we were in Jaguar. We were
Yes, yeah. The
3v2, no, 3v3 in Jaguar, and our opponents had an op, and we could really break the economy there.
mhm.
But then we just back off, and it's and I feel like we've been really timid when it comes to like side takes recently. And the second one is post plant. I feel like post plant we don't cover the angles we need to cover,
Yeah.
and then we just we turn 3v2 into a 2v2, and then we just get the outplay there.
Yeah.
And it's rough. It's I feel like it's kind of mistakes where we should start making less of them as this season goes longer. But it doesn't look like we've been able to address those issues, and yeah, I really hope we can turn it around.
Absolutely. I think what you said that was really cool about the post plans. That's a very nice thing to notice. Because I hope I'm not giving away some kind of crazy advantage to anyone listening to the podcast, but if anyone
Yeah.
watches our games and knows anything, this is not background information. If anyone ever watches any of our games or demos, which are openly available on the internet, and you should all come watch tomorrow, or this will be today actually, all come watch today, tonight, 7 p.m. GMT, our game against Beta Frost on our Twitch channel. You can watch the game there. Please tune in. And remember to follow. We're trying to grow our following. Yeah, so our game, when it comes to post plans, we have a tendency to play very aggressive post plans. So you know what some teams will do? They go and plant them up, then fall off, and then save all their util and stuff until like the last moment to try to play for time. We have a tendency of not playing it that way. We have a tendency of running outside, getting the bomb down, and then keep pushing, like pushing the CDs back. Which has worked a lot of the time, to be fair. That's how you really like set respect, get dominant, take peaks, swing angles. And I think we have the firepower to do that. And I think it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a very cool way to play CS. However, the risk of doing so is multi-kill potential for the opponents. Because you will be swinging angles where you don't know where they are. Because you're out of position, but so are they. And often then, if one opponent suddenly gets a 2k, then instead of this being a save or a time ticking down, they still have 35 seconds to retake the site and get the bomb. And that's where you can see a lot of issues with this approach. Again, I hope Love doesn't hate me for talking about their post bans. But again, anyone can watch their games and figure this out. So I think it's fine.
I mean, honestly, like if all our opponents start watching our podcast, it's good for the. It's good.
We had a fire. So hey,
you
if you want to know insider secrets, then please watch our podcast. We're also great at committing tax fraud, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, like tune into the segment of Anton's stock market frenzy.
Yeah, he's only down 30% this week, guys. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
Oh yeah, no, no, I really don't want to talk about it. It's been rough, man. It's I'm sitting at like unrealized losses of like $30,000.
That's long. But let's move on to
we're coping.
Yeah, we are coping. Let's move on to our Saturday game, which we had a bit of technical difficulties because none of us were at our computers. But his game still went on, still worked out. We had Silky back in the cast as as he usually casts our league games, but he had to step in there as I was watching the game from a pub in London, while Anton here was at a investors meeting or a convention, I should say.
Yeah, so we ran like I was part of like we ran like a regional qualifier for a startup tournament or a pitching tournament. And yeah, it was really good. I'm not gonna say any more about it
Nope.
because if they want more info, they should pay us.
True.
It's
Very true.
we are looking for sponsors. We need money. We're shameless about it.
Yeah, we
It's
want to cash out, guys. Okay, you need to help
yeah,
us.
it's literally in the name.
It is in the name. I don't get why people don't see this coming. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I don't see, I don't understand why people look at our branding as greedy when we only want to make a shit ton of money and then just retire at like 25 years old.
Yeah, that would be
It's
fire.
crazy. It's
Yeah, no, that's
it's so
crazy.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and I had like the issue where like I was uh I was going to go I was going to go to sleep early the day before so I could like be refreshed and watch the games and stuff. But then like I've got a new roomie that is French, and like he brought over like a lot of girls, and we just ended up having a party there. So
Fire.
I like
Gotta
didn't
love the
sleep at
French,
all.
though. Gotta love the French.
Yeah, didn't sleep at all, and then like suddenly like I fell asleep, and then I forgot to change the stream title, so it was so it was like that's why like it was like seen as like, oh, we're playing it static.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rerun. We ran it back and we
Uh,
lost again, guys. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like we did a better showing against 7-7 than we did against static. I think like in static we just got demolished, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, but against 7-7 we actually were in the lead once on Ancient.
Yeah.
We were 11-10. But it's also like it's you just show it just shows that like we did like misplays there, we threw around, and but it's just the thing, it's like at this level you can't throw around like this. It's just you need to get the map free, and you need to close those really important rounds, and that's our problem, because I think like if we could just add 5 rounds.
Yeah, if we went back to the old system, literally.
Yeah, if we could if we could just like cherry pick 5 rounds. If like we got a genie that were like, oh, I will grant you 5 wishes. Usually it's 3, but because of inflation it's 5.
Yeah.
So if we could just get 5 rounds, we could like change our record to a much better scoreline.
Absolutely.
Because like we've seen like our team needs time to like really get into gear, and our team is also choking at really important times. So we need to start winning those, and that's why I'm also really excited for the match against Better Frost, because Better Frost as an org has been struggling this season.
Yes, absolutely. They have very. I think most people predicted them in the top 2, like top 3. And they have not been having a good time, and not even in the Burn qualifiers. They got knocked out early on. They get to the quarters. They were 1 stage away from qualifying, I believe. Day 1.
No, day 1 was Slaughter Gang was 1 stage
Oh yeah,
away.
no, you're right. And then day 2, they were 1 step away from qualifying.
Yeah, but we're just like, fuck them, guys.
Yeah, and we completely clapped their asses in the best of 3.
No, yeah, it was really insane. But also in the regular season, they got 1 win, but arguably we've also had tougher competition.
Yeah,
So
I'd agree.
I think we can take it, and it's so important for us to take it, because if we take it, our team will go into the most important match of the season, I think, for us, on Wednesday against Infurity Esports.
Yeah.
With a fresh win, and like as a previous athlete, it's so important to get that taste of victory.
100%.
Because like it's after some time you just forget that you're actually good. It's like if you miss like 7 op shots during like crucial moments in the games, then suddenly you're like even in like your faced games, you're like, do I go for the op?
Yeah.
Do I just go Vandal? Like I won't
Vandal,
hit them
fucking
anyways.
Valorant ass player.
Uh,
Shut the fuck up. Get out. The AK-47
I'm
is
See
the
you
gun in
guys.
this game. Yeah. So anyways, I'm now the only founder.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, you know what? If like we don't get sponsors, maybe that's what we should start. Only founders.
oh shit. Oh, dude, we're
It's
getting ideas at the moment by moment. Oh, wait, let me note this
it's
down. This is great.
it's
Fuck yeah.
crazy. Like it's like what like I remember I watched like on Friday I watched like the documentary on NRK about like 7 esports and how like they were supposed to be like the first sustainable esports org in Norway, but look at us, bro. We're like
Yeah, hella
we're
sustainable.
willing to do anything to sustain at
We
this
will
point.
do anything for money.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's,
uh, let's
yeah,
get back to the Counter Strike though.
yeah,
777 esports. Another close ancient game. Again, lost 13-7, but this one felt close at times, but not close at other moments. It was a bit hit or miss, I think. Again, I think we had a decent T side. And again, Mr. Love's calling yeah, on Ancient, I gotta say. Ancient Anubis, him calling there is always a pleasure to see on that T side. But I would like to talk about Overpass. Because we have lost our second Overpass game in a week due to a 1v4 loss in the final round.
I mean, honestly, I fucking hate this map. I just honestly like if I want to find the designer and just food poison them. Like it's horrible. It's just like it just breaks my heart every time. Like it's just like I feel like it's just like people just like it's just people just like then our enemy teams on Overpass just do like demonic chanting. Like
Yeah.
straight up they're like summoning the fucking Gorosei from One Piece. And it's just like and we're just like fucking like level 1 crooks against level 100 mafia bosses just getting like swept up in like those clutch rounds and it's just and 19 oh I'm so tilted about the slaughter gang I'm still tilted about the slaughter gang 19 HP from a tie for
Yeah.
overtime
Yeah.
but yeah but it's I mean honestly it's just been Overpass has been like I feel like it's almost has been a bait map for us
Yeah, we did
because
get that 13-0
yeah
against what's called like company team.
yeah, but
Fucking
it's like Face
yeah.
It level 2, bro. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
Face It
that
level
were.
3, man.
Oh
And you've seen
shit!
me play.
You do know you
You've-
start in level 3, right? You have to like lose games to
You
go down.
actually start level 4, but yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
don't
wait,
talk
you start
about
level.
it.
Oh no, because it's now 250 per rank instead of 150.
Yeah.
So it's so much easier to get a higher level now. Shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm actually like one of the yeah, yeah, you guys if you want to sign me, just go ahead.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I have a 17% win rate as of right now. And I do an average of 340 damage
Per game.
per game.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
that's money right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
So like, if founder role doesn't work out, then
pro
we're on the
player
front
is
lines,
up
baby.
next. Fuck yeah. Yeah. But what
But
I think we should mention about this match is that Holtke, our JKS, our super stand-in, did stand in for this game again. This time not for Lux, but for Pancakes. And he had I think a masterclass, I'd almost say, in this last stand role. Super impressive for a stand-in, what he did the last time. However, Pancakes is a player that plays a very different role. Lux is the main opper, although that was taken over by Rufy when Holtke stood in for him. He still played most of Lux's positions, which are really aggressive and they were really well supported by Rufy. So it's basically Holtke just needed to swing to get kills. And what he does best, which is what I believe we mentioned last week, is just playing off the wall CS is what we call it. It's just he loves running in, taking kills, just dominating the opponent, giving them no chance, no breathing space, which is why he's crushing to play against sometimes, because he can just run in behind you while you're setting up nades and you're like, why the fuck is he there? He's a CT, get back on site, and then he gets a 3k. But when replacing Pancakes, who is a much more passive role, although I've never seen him play as good CS as he has done this season, he still plays not like the main star fragger roles. None of the positions that are usually associated with your top fraggers. And you can now see the difference clearly. Hulky going 17 and 37 for the series with a 0.47 rating, being the worst player on the server at all times on all maps. 0.29 rating on Overpass, which is the map that was very close and could have, I think, gone into anyone's favor. And that's not what we love to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, the issue with measuring like substitutes, is that they're a little bit set up to fail.
Absolutely, 100%.
Because they have a much worse environment by default than the main roster, simply because they are basically picking up the scraps in practice and in games as well. But yeah, it was it kind of, it didn't dispel the, like, Hulk is still a great player, but it shows
Absolutely.
that like he's kind of not ready to be this like to be a flexible player
Yeah.
and to take every position. But honestly, like it's really great that he could sub, and
Oh yeah.
it's and I think like it's something that like he will have time to work on and improve as the season goes, and also it's kind of like subbing against 7-7 esports is kind of
That's
like the
fucking
nightmare
rough. Yeah,
scenario.
that's a long game.
It's like if suddenly like it's if suddenly you just say, hey man, you know what, can you just sub against LeBron? And you're just like, yeah, well, okay,
You're like,
I'll do that.
yeah, okay, fuck.
So this is like this has just become like a violent cardio session at this point.
Yeah, actually true. But I think a lot of players from Valorant, from League, other games, they're like role based games. They don't see what's role based in Counter Strike, and there are no roles in Counter Strike by default. Everybody has the same abilities to do anything, and everyone's the same hitbox, the same utility, same econ, everything's the same. Which is why I think the game is so fun, because everybody in theory needs to be able to play every role and understand at least every aspect of the game. But this is one of the differences you see when it comes to team games, because different players have different jobs to do. And I think Hulky, when it comes to those aggressive peaks, the draft for Robs, and him and Rufy especially playing sides together works super well, because you have Rufy who's a more passive player and Hulky who's more aggressive. But now when he's forced to play in a completely different role, he doesn't maybe not fully understand, or he just naturally play. He needs to struggle to play this role, and that means his timings are going to be off, his peaks are going to be worse, and his defaults are not going to be as concise, and he maybe doesn't really know on say at least a default what to listen to, what kind of signs he's looking for, because he doesn't have the natural feel for that. And they're going to really see the difference in the game style there, which I don't think a lot of casual fans appreciate enough, how different it is. Like, when you have people like Rain and Face Clan that gets a lot of hate because his stats aren't always on top of the leaderboard. He's usually bottom 2 with Kerrigan, although sometimes he pops off. But I'm saying, but if you took Rops and put him in Rain's position, Rops would probably, although I'd say much better aimer, he'd still drop similar numbers, just because he doesn't know how to play that aggressively, that role, that anchor site. And this is a lot of what you see here. A lot of people don't appreciate the intricacy of the different jobs, different roles players are given I'm talking at the top level now, at the pro level, at the level, even at the level we play at the any team level. But I think this was a showing of just that, because we all know Hulky is a 10 times better player than what he showed today.
Yeah, 100%. And also like he was it like I feel like he replaced one of the like 2 people he wouldn't be comfortable replacing. So it's understandable that like he would suffer his performance, but in the future we would of course like for Hulky to be more comfortable in more roles. But
Absolutely.
that takes time.
Of course.
As business or like as esports owners, it's I think it's the hardest thing to do is to not do stuff.
Yeah.
because it's like it's so tempting to just pull the trigger and just make changes all the time. Where we saw, like, for example, in the LEC in League, we saw like Vitality just firing one of the best coaches in Europe, Yamato Can, after like 6 weeks because the team wasn't performing. And it's uh, it's hard to not do anything. But I think, like, if you don't trust the players, you shouldn't be in esports.
100%.
To be honest,
Shouldn't be in
uh,
any sports really.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's your job is to make sure that the team has the tools to succeed. And creating a needless instability because of your ego and your power plays and stuff uh, is a really bad way to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
But that doesn't mean that we don't have those feelings. We've definitely had some like we've definitely had some like co-watching moments where we're like, bro, what is going on? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely. But I think that's a bit of the passion that comes
yeah.
with watching the game. We're just like, fuck, why does this fucker miss this shot, dude? Because we're
Oh
so
yeah.
into it. But we, of course, fully trust in our players and the game they play. Because we don't want to take the classic football approach. One star player misses one shot, and the whole fan base wants to sack the manager, because that's just how shit works, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And also, like, when you say like the difference with like uh when you have like a game like Counter-Strike where you don't have, or like in theory you have no roles, like you have the same abilities, you have the same guns, everything. The thing that's difficult is also to like recognize those roles, because for example, if you come from League of Legends, you have five defined roles. You have top lane, jungle, mid, bot, and support. And for example, top lane, the lane I play, we have two different play styles. We have either a play style where you split push, where you are alone and you try to get other people to you try to win 1v1s and force people to come to your lane and then create a numerical advantage on the other side of the map, or you want to group and team fight. And as a sub, you can just say, okay, honestly, I'm not going to practice any of the split push or any of the team fight. I'm just going to practice on like four champs and just work on that. And I like my time allocation is so much more clean in that sense. For example, me, I'm literally playing one champion right now.
yeah,
It's disgusting. But when you are in a game where it's a lot more fluid, uh, it's a lot harder to understand what kind of roles there are. And for example, especially for when I started CS, I like it was really rough to understand, like, okay, if you anchor a site, or if you like anchor a site, or if you're playing for
a rotation.
or if you are playing for rotation, like, the game is completely different. But that's something you don't see by the abilities, because it's not like Valorant, where you have a smoker that smokes off, and you have like an initiator, and you have a sentinel that like gives a wall or heals or something like that. And yeah, it's really rough when like it's where you have like uh games where stuff where like roles are not obvious, and it's dependent on texture. Like chess is another example where like
Absolutely.
um where, for example, you can play like completely, like, the rules are the same, but you can play like in completely different styles. You can play in like, and you can have different pawn shades. The structure is different. Like, for example, like we were playing like yeah, late 5 a.m. chess together, and like I remember you were like really disgusted by my perk
Yeah,
defense
I fucking hate the perk
because
defense, dude. I don't know what the fuck to play against it.
yeah, because it has a completely different vibe and the texture that the other openings that you're normally faced against. And that's the thing with Counter Strike, is that you will often feel you will often feel like a place of textures that you're unfamiliar with. And as a sub, it's much harder to take the time to understand it and to also adapt to those situations.
No, definitely. You're very right in at everything there. It's the same thing as you said there, because when you play, say, openings like the Perk Defense, or you play against, say, the Scandinavian, you can't play, because again, most openings, no matter what they play, you can just play like default moves. They're always good moves. They're always the same good moves. But against certain openings, as both white and black, default development is bad and will actually lose you the game. Such as against, say, the Karakan, the Perk Defense, the Scandi, then you need to play into their opening. And if you don't really know what you're doing, then you get stuck. It's the same kind of thing with roleplay in roleplay. That I mean, what role you do play in games like CS, because when he sees something and say Pancakes would have recognized a sign that Hulky doesn't, for an example, although he has played the position many times, to say in random scrims or. Just generally is familiar with how you play it, but it's all those small details that are different for different players. And again, Pancakes with his recent form, he is a hard player to replace. But I think we should talk about the hero of this match, who actually was the best player in the server. For I almost argue although Ancient was a bit rough for us across the board, he was the one player that actually stood out and had some impact. But on Overpass, Lux, and I know with his ego, he will love that reglazing. Lux, what a fucking performance. 26 and 15, second highest frags in the server, but by far the highest rating. And I also want to speak to his impact, because he wasn't just eco-fragging. The kills he made actually directly often led to us getting rounds. Especially in some of those openings, especially with those trade frags he was able to do, and how he opened up the game. I thought that was super impressive. Actually being the highest rated player, tied for the most kills for the game as a whole. And again, this was a 13-7 and a 13-10 loss. All super impressive, posing at 1.39 rating. This is like simple Sivu level. So it's super impressive to see. And I think it's great to have him and show such good form, because he, wielding that up, is our main star player. He's the guy that takes the most space, and therefore he also wanted to get the most kills. And I gotta say, if somebody absolutely did their job, it's gotta give a shout out to Lux.
Yeah, 100%. It's so nice to see Lux performing, because like it has been, we have really good pieces on the team, but it just has been like when one player has had the breakout performance, the other players have kind of shit the bed, and other way around, right?
Yeah.
And it's and I know like we're like full on talking potential man cope here, but we see that like every time, on every loss, there has been really good things and really bad things. Except for maybe static. We kind of just got.
Yeah, like, especially in that vertigo, I don't think there's a lot of good to take out of it. But I think the second map there was all some good things, but I think there's just a lot of small mistakes. That one small mistake doesn't really matter, but when they all group up, you lose rounds, you lose games. But so I think the 7-7-7, theoretically much harder matchup, but also much better performance. I think a lot of these rounds, although again it looks a lot closer, was thanks to Luxus in an incredible performance there.
Yeah, and I think like it's I think like it shows like what we can do, and it's shows that like if we had Pancakes instead of Hulky in that position, then we could have maybe taken the map. But of course, it's could have been it's like alternative history talk
of course,
right here. But
what could have happened?
Yeah, like honestly, like we should just win next IM Katowice at this point.
Honestly, yeah, true, so true.
Yeah,
we are winning Cologne this year. So everybody get tickets. We are winning Cologne. Very true.
It's just bad on us, guys.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, we're talking kind of like, what happened if Archduke Franz Ferdinand wasn't assassinated, right? But
bro,
then we're
don't make us like cats.
No, that's fine. That's like ancient history, and he was Austrian, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It was
Oh
Austria.
god,
Austria's a
bro.
great country. We love Austria
Oh,
over
you're
here.
giving me a heart attack now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, no, yeah, I just can't wait to see. I think we're gonna shit on Better Frost, to be honest, and
Yeah. I agree.
yeah, and I think we can get the 2-0 against Infuriate if they come with a bad day, because they got stomped against Static. Oh no, wait, they
No,
stomped
they
Static.
did
Oh,
stop static. Yeah.
god damn it.
You're like
Okay.
shit. That's a bit harder.
Okay. We
Well.
have removed like this scope angle. We
Yeah.
removed this scope angle. Like I'm starting to run out of
We're
storylines
starting
here
to
too.
run out of
Like,
storyline. Let me try to create. You know, what? Let me try to create one for you. Because in Fury, you
yeah.
know what their weakness is? Is it their map pool? We gotta have a look. Oof, no, it's not. Well, the thing is, I guess we actually do have some overlap here, which is great to see. Their most played maps in Ancient and Overpass seems to be their top map. 6% win rate on both. They've actually never chosen those. Whoa, wait, we might be in. Okay, so they always pick Inferno, which means our first ban should come out. It should be Inferno. But then again, then we'll have to play Nuke. They will either force us to play Inferno or Nuke. I know for a fact we have some players in the team that would get us demonetized if they had to talk about their personal feelings about Inferno. So I'm guessing on Tuesday. No, fuck. This is in Infuriate. Sorry, on Wednesday, I'm guessing we will be seeing a Nuke pick from Infuriate. Well, an Inferno ban from us. At that point, we have, Ancient Overpass, Anubis, our standard maps. However, they have banned Mirage every map they've played, and they've also banned Anubis every map they play. So they're probably going to ban Anubis. We're then looking at a pick for us, if it even goes in that order. Doesn't really matter. We're going to see either Ancient or Overpass. They're strong on both maps, but we'll have to see what the boys feel the most comfortable at that point. I'm guessing we're going for an Ancient pick, after which, of course, we'll see the Nuke pick, and then the third map will most likely be either Overpass or Ancient. So the three maps I can predict right now will be Ancient, Overpass, and Nuke. And I think Nuke is a struggle, because again, it's a map we've looked at as far as I know, but it's not a map we've actually played officially yet. But could be absolutely fun to see what the boys are cooking up, because I'm sure Loaf is already well aware of this and have been preparing for this game. And again, I think in our Ancient Overpass, if there's somewhere where we can strike and strike hard, it's absolutely there. Ancient, we're so solid all around, and Overpass, if Lux continues performing at the level he has, I don't think we're losing that map. So there's the storyline for you. Their weakness is their map pool. There is the storyline for you. They are forced to play some maps that I think we're better at.
To be honest, like I think the main weakness is that they are forced to play Counter-Strike in general. Like they could be lawyers, like at the
Yeah, true.
Like,
there is that.
Yeah, we're so far down in the cope, guys. Like it's
yeah, we're sucking
terrible.
up the copium right now. It's going crazy.
Yeah, but like I think also I really don't hope a nuke is coming, because we need to win 2-0 if we want to go to tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Because like both Static and Infuriate has won a 2-0 map. So even if we win 2-1, then we lose on map diff. Yeah. So we need to get the 2-0. That's why it's so important that we win a real convincing map on Better Frost, so we get the against Better Frost on Tuesday, so we get the confidence to win on Wednesday. And because I think, like, honestly, if we manage to get to a tiebreaker, I think we can out tilt them.
Yeah, I agree. But the only thing that would suck is that they might go for round diff if it's even.
No,
I haven't looked at the rules. What happens if there's a tiebreak?
I have checked. I think I checked, and it's.
Do we play tiebreak?
No, it's okay. First is points, then it's map diff, then it's number of maps won.
Okay.
And then it's walkovers, but walkovers doesn't count here.
Yeah.
And then it's tiebreaker.
Okay, cool. So that we do go tiebreaker, because maps won will be the same theoretically, because, right?
Yeah. So we actually we have a little hope. We have
absolutely.
and of course we would want to. We really hope that we will manage to get there. It's it will be so great because I currently live in Bergen, and seeing us in the final and Alex flying from England to
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 watch the
watch
boys,
the finals. Oh, that would be so
that would
crazy.
be really, really, really fire. Being on that stage, and that would be fantastic for our players, and I think it would give them a real boost. But same, it would also, of course, be a massive for our org. I mean, at this point, we can see just after qualifying for this event over loads of top teams, both first and second division, we've gotten already a lot of publicity for that, and a lot of people are starting to, like, we're starting to turn some heads. But qualifying for the main stage would help us do that even more, because again, we are very serious about the work we do here. And we do want to compete, and I think we already are competing with a lot of orgs that exist in the region esports space. And qualifying for a LAN event, especially post COVID when almost all the LANs are being cancelled, would be huge for us.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm really grateful for 777
Host this
to do
event,
this
absolutely.
because it's really hard as an org to grow only on online stuff, because it's a lot harder for us to do, um, for us to convert people that enjoy watching Counter-Strike to true fans of the org. Uh, like, although I feel like we're doing a good job and we're starting to have real fans. Shout out Kongen av Kjelsås.
Yeah, he's the top G.
Yeah, he is the chattest of the fans, and like
Absolutely.
we have a few other
We do a few others that keep turning up.
that watch every game, which is actually it's really crazy that we have people after such a short time that follow us actively, but it's just like the atmosphere of LAN is just so different.
Oh yeah, it's complete. It's a different game
Uh,
on LAN, 100%.
yeah,
It's not the same game, and I think if it does, if we were able to qualify for a LAN, I think we could do some real fucking work there. Because again, as we've proven time after time, we are a big game team. Like the harder the opponent, the better we play. Which has given us some issues because we tend to lose to some
yeah,
fucking
it's
not that great teams. Again, at the end of the day, although we're all happy for our opponents, and I think the second div, as I've said earlier, is super close. In theory, I don't think there's anyone that's shown any like super dominant sides yet. In Div 2, but again, they're in theory on the spectrum of things, on the scale of things, they're not that good. There are way better teams out there, and I think a lot of these teams have way higher peaks. But when we go up against some of the top tiers of the Div 1 teams, and even in some of our practice against some top teams outside of the country, we do consistently see better results. But that's more a good thing than a bad thing, because that means we can actually raise that average, so we're always consistently better, but we also have that ability to overperform when it's needed. And I really hope we do that on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow when this is out.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I think it's we have the potential, and like we have shown that we do belong there by qualifying, literally. But it's I don't want to discount this as just a learning experience, because we do want to win. We do want to be best, but we have already extracted a lot of value, both from getting experience for our team and working out the kinks, because we have had, if you think about it, if you are a second division team, uh, you have had 3 less official games than us to work out the kinks and to find weaknesses.
Oh yeah,
Because
true.
the thing is, especially like when you have a game with multiple maps, like Counter-Strike, it's you might not find a weakness until like mid-season. like crucial and it's really hard to fix.
Yeah.
And we have gotten that opportunity to do so. And
Even against better opponents, which is fantastic because they also punish you way harder for small mistakes.
100%. So I think like it's gonna be real and invaluable experience, and also for viewership has been really good. And I think our strategy of rewarding our fans by always casting every game and always have content around it is starting to pay off and show dividends.
Yep.
We are now at 47 followers, and we're gonna go affiliate next week, which is I think it's I won't say it's the fastest of any esport learning in Norway, but it's pretty fast, especially when we don't have like when we haven't like based on our investment, we have been really successful so far.
Oh yeah, and I think it's pretty fast because the minimum time period you can get affiliated for is 31 days. And this will be about 6 weeks, so only about 2 weeks after like the minimum requirement. So, and if we've hit everything, we just need a few more followers. Because some fan base is not gonna mention who, but you know, say there are 30 fans.
They're in the north of Norway. Like,
could be anywhere in Norway, really. But some fan bases, they could be in the north, could be in the north, could be in the south. They are in the north. Well, they come from the north. Most of them are in Oslo, as far as I'm hearing. I'll say about 30 of this. Say about 30 of these specific fans are in our stream because their stream isn't working because we have top quality productions over here. We do this things professional way, and imagine out of these like 30-35 people that are all writing in chat about how great the casting is, how much they love the stream, how outstanding game is. One person follows.
No, and the worst part is the person that followed us before
the stream started. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not mentioning any names though, but hey,
that was heartbreaking. And it was like also like our season high with like we had 36 viewers at the peak.
Yeah, average peak.
No, that was crazy.
Yeah. So hey, so as we said, we're all in this together to create sustainable esports in Norway to ensure this economy can continue together, all of us. But hey, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and getting affiliate will allow us to do a lot more interesting things. Such as we can do channel betting. Such as
of course you go to the gambling first. That's crazy.
It's like will Tias get the 4K? We just get picked up first pick in the round.
We can do channel points betting. We can also we already have some ideas and some stuff for like custom emotes and stuff that will go out. And pulse, just a lot of cool stuff to get a bit more activity between like chat and stream, which I always think is really sick. That a lot of people have requested. So we're gonna be really happy to announce that when all of that gets sorted.
Yeah, and also we will be able to monetize our content, which. Yeah, I know our branding is about we love money and we want to take money from you guys.
Which is all true, so you should.
It is true. It is true. We are not denying it, but it's also, we are really passionate about this project.
Absolutely.
We have invested a lot of time and effort, and I won't say we have invested tons of money, but we have put a financial stake in this. So I think for us to be able to like get a semi-consistent revenue and be able to incrementally improve our production to increase that revenue is going to be really great for both us and fans. And we also want to ask you guys what kind of content do you want?
And absolutely.
And also like how would you guys want to support the team? Do you guys want merch like jerseys and stuff? Do you guys want for example a Patreon where we can post exclusive content such as like our financials and our plans for like the next season and stuff like that? And if you guys have some stupid idea like drunk face it level 1 casting,
Then
like
we would love
we're
to hear
down.
this too, and also other content like that we could post on either a Patreon or just on the YouTube channel, or even create like a members section. We'd be super open to cool ideas. And also for the podcast, is there any players on our team you would love to see on the podcast? And I know if our teammates watch this, they're all going to say Pancakes, because famously he doesn't love speaking in public. But we would be open for that, or anyone else in esports, or in that you think could be interesting in general. As again, we don't only want to talk about esports. We want to kind of expand and talk about some different like psychology, mentality, sporting in general, and the stuff that comes with it. Because again, this podcast, this whole thing is mostly directed towards the age groups of, I'd say, like 13 till 30 type, maybe to like 35. So if there are any topics also you'd like us to talk about, discuss anything within economics to general life basis to psychology to professional sports, esports opportunities, training, whatever it is, we would be super open to do that, because both me and Anton have I'd say various experiences within lots of fields that I think could be interesting to bring in and talk about.
Yeah, maybe not like crypto and stuff, because like once we get going, we will never
Oh,
stop.
no, remember, crypto is for virgins, everyone.
Damn.
Just throwing
Yeah,
under
so
the
there's
bus
no
like that. There's still hope, boys.
Oof. But yeah, I think that's probably it for today.
Yeah, I think that covers most bases.
Yeah.
And
So tune in 7 o'clock GMT against Beta Frost on Tuesday,
yeah,
and
Twitch link is over there.
yeah, fighting there like
Yeah.
and on Wednesday 7 p.m. is it GMT against Impurity Gaming.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Was it GMT +1, +2?
Yeah, GMT +1, both
Yeah.
both of them. Yeah,
Yes,
GMT
so that
+1.
would be the standardized European time in, say, Norway, or say Oslo, Berlin, Stockholm.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It's 7 o'clock both. Yeah, today, which will be Tuesday, and tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. This will be out Tuesday morning if everything goes right, which we suspect it will, as we've gotten most approvals recently.
Yeah, hope that that one random First World War reference doesn't
Hey,
mess
wait,
me up.
what are you talking about? Wars? Hello, I was talking about historical leaders and their impact.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know why you'd mention wars there. I think that's a bit crazy from you.
Oh, they're
Well,
crazy.
Anyway, this has been this week's episode of the Check-In. Hope you guys enjoyed as usual, and we will catch you around next week and on
Yeah.
stream. See
Yeah,
you.
we're cashing out.